So again, in problem 13, we have some new notation here. we've got this notation, which is little r, and then there's a subscript line segment RT. Then we have this open dot, and then we have another little r. There's supposed to be a line over here. So we've got line segment VS, and then we've got a parenthesis with point B in it. This is a shorthand for composition of functions. We talked briefly about composition before, and we said that what a composition is it's essentially doing two things consecutively. First, doing one kind of transformation, then doing a second kind of transformation. So what this symbol is saying is that we're going to take the composition of, and it's all acting on point B. We're going to take point B, and we're first going to reflect it across line segment VS. And then we're going to reflect it across line segment RT. Okay, now notice that we read the order of transformations from right to left. In other words, we start with point B, we're going to take point B, and the first thing we're going to do with it is we are going to reflect point B across VS. That is the first thing we're going to do with it. Then we're going to take B prime. Okay, so we're going to take the reflection of point B across VS, and then we are going to reflect B prime across line segment RT. Okay, so it's very important when you see this notation that you understand that the first transformation is to take point B, reflect it across line segment VS, and sort of this open dot or composition you could read in as saying, and then we will reflect that reflection of point B or B prime across line segment RT, and that will essentially give us B double prime, of course. But we want to see what is B double prime on the figure. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. So we're going to line up our patty paper with our figure, and we're going to do what the notation told us to do. So it said first we're going to reflect point B. So let's make sure we recognize point B. Let me write it in green. Okay, so we've got our point B's lined up. Put this in green so we know we're going to really be watching point B very closely when we put it in green in a circle. Actually, green's not coming out too well on that monitor there. Maybe I don't know what to do. How about this purple? I've got a nice purple marker here. Let me put the B in a circle. I think that really shows up nice and well. The circle is good. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to reflect B across VS. So where is VS? We've got to write in our other letters here. This is S. Okay, and this is D. Make sure we have them all written in. So we're going to reflect B across VS. First step. And as a map VS, flip it over, go right back into VS again. So V goes on top of V. S goes on top of S. And let's see where that ends up putting B. Okay, so B is now down over here. So let's see what B is. B is mapped into, or B prime is now C. Okay, so the first mapping took B into C. Now the next mapping, so now we're actually starting with point C. So let's go back to our notation here, and let's continue simplifying this a little bit. We've gone ahead and we've done this first part, which is to reflect point B across VS, and we've gotten point C. So now all we have left to do is to reflect point C across line segment RT. Okay, so everything here on the right has become point C. We've already reflected point B across line segment VS, and it's now C. So essentially, the only thing we've got left to do is now to reflect point C across RT. So let's start with our original drawing again. Let's locate point C, which we know is the same as B prime. Okay, for this rotation, it's the same as B prime because we reflected B across SV. But now we have to reflect C across RT. So now let's go ahead and we're going to want to look at C now. And I guess I'll put this in a little square. Try to keep this so that we can pay attention to what we're doing. Put C in a square, which is the same as B prime. And now we're going to reflect across RT. RT is this line here. So now we're going to line up RT with RT. Going to keep RT lined up with RT. Just like that. And we look and see, where did C go to? C is over here now. That's the square we drew. You can see it through the patty paper. And the C now is point D. Okay, see that C or B prime mapped to point D. So point D is really B double prime. Point D is our answer. Okay, so that what happened here is that we first reflected point B over line segment VS. That took us from here to here. And then we reflected that reflection, which is B prime, over RT, which took us from here to here. And we ended up with B double prime, but specifically on the diagram, it's point D.